My topic is public service advertising in detail explained, and let's go to the topic and let's go to the start. Public service advertising is a type of advertisement that aims to raise awareness, educate, and encourage the public to take action on a particular social issue, such as health, safety, and the environment. It is usually sponsored by government agencies, non-profit organizations, or civic groups with a goal to benefit the community. Examples of public service advertising campaigns include anti-smoking messages, campaigns promoting responsible drinking, and seatbelt use. These types of advertisements often use powerful imagery, shocking statistics, or emotional storytelling to grab the viewer's attention and convey important messages. Public service advertising is an essential tool in promoting awareness and positive social change. By raising awareness of important issues and encouraging people to take action, public service advertising can help prevent injuries, save lives, and improve the overall health and well-being of communities. In addition, public service advertising can also help to promote civic engagement and social responsibility, by encouraging individuals to play an active role in improving their own lives and those of others. One of the key benefits of public service advertising is its ability to reach large audiences through a variety of media channels, such as television, radio, print, and social media. This allows messages to be conveyed to a wide range of individuals, regardless of their age, gender, or socioeconomic status. Furthermore, public service advertising can also be targeted to specific audiences, such as young people, parents, or particular ethnic groups, to ensure that messages are tailored to meet their specific needs and concerns. Despite its many benefits, public service advertising is not without its challenges. One of the biggest challenges is the difficulty in measuring the impact and effectiveness of campaigns, as it can be difficult to quantify the number of lives saved or injuries prevented. Another challenge is the fact that public service advertising often competes with a vast array of commercial advertising, making it difficult to grab and maintain the viewer's attention. In summary, public service advertising is a powerful tool for promoting positive social change, raising awareness, and encouraging the public to take action on important issues. While there are challenges associated with this type of advertising, its potential for improving the health and well-being of communities makes it an essential component of any comprehensive public health strategy. When advertising companies work with non-profit organizations to come up with some public service announcements, PSAs, intended to convince ad audiences to opt for healthy social and behavioral patterns, then it is understood as public service advertising. Different media agencies give their space and time for the circulation of these messages in the general public interests. Even in some of the cases, charitable associations, state and national governments pay for these advertising campaigns to gain better control over such ads. In simple terms, public service advertising can be understood as incorporation and channelization of a message in the public interest dispersed without any charge, with the target of bringing issues to light of common people. It is also intended to changing public perspectives and conduct towards any specific social issue. Commonly known as public service announcements, these public service advertising campaigns are also called public information films, PIFs, in the UK, while in Hong Kong, they are known as announcements in the public interests, APIs. This post will take you deep into these PSA campaigns and help you understand their origin, prevalence, and other notable traits. So, without any further ado, let us get started right away. Public service advertising? Just after Congress proclaimed war in 1917, Woodrow Wilson, 28th President of the United States from 1913 to 1921, formed the Committee on Public Information, CPI, which assumed a significant job in persuading common people of the nation to give their full backing to war exertions. Not propaganda as the Germans defined it, but propaganda in the true sense of the word, meaning the propagation of the faith. By taking the assistance of individuals drawn from the advertising business, the committee made a few significant advertising campaigns. Let us have a look upon some of the most notable ones. Advertising, the techniques and practices used to bring products, services, opinions, or causes to public notice for the purpose of persuading the public to respond in a certain way toward what is advertised. Most advertising involves promoting a good that is for sale, often through brand marketing, but similar methods are used to encourage people to drive safely, to support various charities, or to vote for political candidates, among many other examples. In many countries, advertising is the most important source of income for the media, for example, newspapers, magazines, or television stations, through which it is conducted. In the non-communist world, advertising has become a large and important service industry. In the ancient and medieval world, such advertising as existed was conducted by word of mouth. The first step toward modern advertising came with the development of printing in the 15th and 16th centuries. In the 17th century, weekly newspapers in London began to carry advertisements, and by the 18th century such advertising was flourishing. The great expansion of business in the 19th century was accompanied by the growth of an advertising industry. It was that century, primarily in the United States, that saw the establishment of advertising agencies. The first agencies were, in essence, brokers for space in newspapers. But by the early 20th century, agencies became involved in producing the advertising message itself, including copy and artwork, and by the 1920s agencies had come into being that could plan and execute complete advertising campaigns, from initial research to copy preparation to placement in various media. Public service advertising is designed to inform the public on issues that are frequently considered to be in the general best interests of the community at large. Typically, it reflects a political viewpoint, philosophical theory, religious concept, or humanitarian notion. It is also commonly referred to as a public service announcement, PSA, or a community service announcement, CSA. The ads are usually broadcast on radio or television, but may also appear in newspapers or magazines. They are prevalent in industrialized countries throughout the world. Most public service advertising involves joint efforts of the private and public sectors. Non-profit groups and government agencies commonly team up with private mass media, promotion and advertising firms to produce spots for radio, television and print media. Most commonly, the non-profit agency creates the message and an advertising firm develops the campaign, polishes it to meet industry standards and plans its distribution, all free of charge. Television and radio stations usually broadcast these ads at no charge, and magazines and newspapers customarily publish them for free as well. If you run a non-profit organization, public service advertising can give you a free or inexpensive way to share an important message to a targeted audience via the radio, TV, print or internet. At the same time, you can increase the public's awareness of your organization and encourage them to take a specific action, like make a donation or follow tips for safe driving. When using a public service announcement, PSA, for your organization, it's important to consider the pros and cons of this form of advertising and understand how to plan and structure your ad effectively. Public service advertisement. Rather than focusing on selling a specific good or service, a public service advertisement aims to make the public aware of an important issue and lead them to take a specific action. For example, a community health organization might make a PSA advertisement alerting the public about the need to get vaccinated for a specific illness like the flu and encourage people to schedule an appointment for the shot. On the other hand, a local educational nonprofit might focus on the importance of literacy and encourage the community to read to their children and offer reading tutoring services to those in need. These types of persuasive ads usually come in the form of a TV commercial, radio advertisement or print ad in a magazine or newspaper. However, the rise of social media now makes it possible for companies to place their PSAs on websites like YouTube, Facebook or even the company's own websites. One of the top benefits of a public broadcast announcement is the low cost for the organization to reach a potentially large audience. Whether the ad airs on the TV or radio or is printed, the station or publication usually donate the airtime or ad space for the PSA, meaning a business with a small budget does not have to worry about advertising costs. On the other hand, PSAs are not entirely free since the business has to pay for all production unless it can seek volunteers and obtain donations. While video ads can be more expensive to make, production costs can be smaller for PSAs that feature only a speaker on the radio or consist of a printed announcement. Another benefit of using a PSA advertisement is that it tends to be effective for both spreading awareness of the issue and the company sponsoring the ad. The University of Kansas suggests that including the business's contact information and using a clear call to action can increase the likelihood that the community responds to your ad's requests and becomes more interested in the work your organization does. Public service advertising. One of the downsides of using PSAs is the competition for limited airtime available. According to the University of Kansas, the majority of ad time is for commercial causes, so you can expect only 1/3 of it to be used for airing PSAs. Not only does this cause organizations to have to compete with stations and other organizations over the limited airtime, but a business's PSA might have to air at a less desirable time, like in the middle of the night. The business might not know when the ad will air either, if the station does not track this information. PSAs are also not suitable for all topics, especially those that are controversial like politics and religion. While a business might find a station or publication to air such an ad, it will likely take a lot more work, so another advertising method may be more desirable. Also, a PSA may not be the best choice if your organization's goal is to influence policy in a general way. Instead, this form of advertising is most successful to promote a clear and specific action. Before deciding the content and format for your PSA, your business will want to have a clear goal that you want those who view, hear or read your announcement to accomplish and ensure the topic covered relates clearly to your organization. This can require doing research on issues faced in your community and potential actions. For example, if you run a local charity for breast cancer, your goal might be to educate the public about risk factors for the disease and encourage the community to attend your walkathon or get medical screenings. You'll also want to determine the targeted group or groups you want your public service announcement to reach and understand how to best make them respond to your message. For example, you might target women ages 40 and over for an ad on breast cancer detection, while you might target elderly adults of both sexes for an ad on the dangers of falls in that age group. Knowing your target group or groups will help you choose the best presentation style when you later structure the ad. After you know your audience and goal, you'll want to bring up, avoiding trying to cram too much into the ad. In the previous example, you might highlight a few key statistics on breast cancer risk and the importance of early detection. You might also incorporate a catchy slogan that will stick with those your advertisement reaches. According to the University of Kansas, most PSAs on the radio and TV are 1 minute or less. Creating 15 or 30-second PSAs is also common. Even print PSAs should be a reasonable length to read within a minute or so. This limited time means structuring an effective PSA requires grabbing the audience's attention from the start, stating your points concisely, using dramatic elements when possible and making your call to action stand out. At the same time, you'll want to have a clear introduction, message and conclusion to make the ad flow well. The introduction is where you should immediately introduce the topic and grab the audience's attention with something like an intriguing question, beginning of a personal story or a description. For a breast cancer charity, the introduction might introduce a survivor and present a statistic about how common the condition is for women. Dramatic background music can also play to set the stage for an audio or video ad. The message portion of the PSA is where to include more details about the person's story, statistics or background information and show how the problem also affects the target audience and/or their families. This is also the place to introduce your organization and connect it to the topic discussed. In the previous example, the charity might mention how it holds events for raising funds to fight cancer and increase awareness of free breast cancer screening events. The conclusion of the PSA advertisement should include an emotional, ethical or logical appeal to the audience to perform the desired action the organization wants. At the same time, it includes information about the company such as its website address or phone number. The charity in the previous example might tell the audience to schedule a screening soon and lead them to the organization's website to learn more about breast cancer detection. Pitching your PSA. You can actually begin pitching your PSA before you've even finished writing it, or you can wait until after you've completed it. In either case, you will want to look for potential media outlets or publications that can air or print it. When doing so, you'll again want to consider your target audience so that your message gets out to them. While a beauty magazine or local news channel would be a good place for a PSA about a women's health issue, a radio station with mostly male listeners would not be. It helps to have some media contacts your organization has worked with before. But if you don't, you can reach out by phone or visit local media outlets and ask to speak to whoever handles ad programming or manages the station. You'll want to ask about PSA requirements to learn when you should submit it, which format and length they prefer you use, and what type of information they need about your organization. For example, a radio station might ask for proof that your organization is a nonprofit and does not intend to air an ad to sell a product. If you're pitching to a radio or TV station, the pitching process is also a good time to find out if and how the station approves and tracks your campaign. Mediatrax Communications cautions that some busy stations do not even follow up about their decision to air a PSA, so be prepared to call back yourself to find out if the ad campaign is active. You'll also want to ask about how frequently the station expects to air the campaign so that you can consider that exposure along with your other media campaigns. Considering alternatives to SAs. If your business is not a non-profit, civic or governmental group and wants to instead promote some commercial cause, then a traditional PSA is not made for that purpose. But that does not mean you can't find other ways to advertise your company's offerings and share information without spending a lot. Online marketing campaigns in the form of videos, search engine and social media ads, email and blogging can all help you spread your message for free or a little cost. If you're already paying for a company website, then you can use it to post announcements in media or even partner with other organizations to have them promote you on their websites. You can also consider attending local events that allow businesses to donate their time or give talks as well as hang up flyers around your community. The war savings stamps drive that ask the general population to save the thoughtless dollars that they were unknowingly wasting in guilty pleasures while soldiers sacrificed their lives on the war zones of war. The Red Cross Public Service advertising campaign requested that residents for joining Red Cross that was embodied in the promotions entitled The Best Mother in the World. The Spies and Lies campaign encouraged people, in general, to not believe and suppress groundless gossipy tidbits, tattles, or rumors. An all-out campaign wherein the advertisers provided a lot of a commercial to advancing a war topic, for example, urging ladies to join the Women's Army Corps, WAC, or helping previous troopers to adjust after the war. A double-barreled ad campaign that pre-owned war subjects for selling items, for example, taking photos to send to soldiers. A sneak punch ad campaign in which a sponsor slipped a war message into a normal product ad, for example, indicating laborers in wartime production lines drinking Coca-Cola. Public service advertising campaign or PSA is used for advertising a state, federal, or government's program. Different non-profit or philanthropic organizations additionally utilize these print or electronic ads to advance their community-centered work. PSAs were also used to additionally address different social issues, for an example response of state government. For any cataclysmic event. Thank you for watching the video and subscribe the channel.